Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josh Snipes, and today we're going to be doing another How to Play an Operator. Now, How to Play an Operator is a series that I started and I plan to carry out through all of the operators, old or new. Also, if they get any big changes and nerfs or buffs, I will make sure to remake the video with the most current information. This series is how to play an operator within a team environment, how to play with your team, and the role that you will fill within that team. Now, these views are subjective to what I've seen on Pro League, Challenger League, Go4s, and how I play and how I've seen others play. Also, it will help whether you are solo queuing or if you are running a 5-stack, because you will be trying to fill a role on a team instead of trying to carry your whole entire team. Now remember that different regions have different play styles and that individual players have personal preferences, but overall I believe this is how you should play the operator. Anyways guys, let's start off with how to play Smoke. Smoke was one of the characters that was introduced at the very beginning of the game, and he was introduced on the SAS operators with 3 other guys, Sledge, Thatcher, and Mute. Now Smoke over time has seen a lot more use, especially nowadays with the buff 2 blitz and other operators that can get new objectives and push a lot stronger than they used to. He's very important and probably I'd say one of the most important anchors that you could possibly have on defense, and he definitely is one of those people that can hold a site down if need be. Now he's a 2 speed, 2 armor, which some people might see him more as a flex because of just the basic details, but his gadget is very useful for holding down a site, so normally I would recommend him as using him as an anchor instead. And plus he usually is ran with a shotgun, so it's very useful up in CQC that you have someone like him to take down very heavy targets or just people with 1 shot or 2 shots. Now Smoke is one of those operators that you really want to keep alive, especially within the last 30 seconds of the round. You want to have someone like Smoke being able to hold down the objective with little to no contest. So if you can have maybe 1 or 2 anchors with him that can help him stay alive, he can hold down somebody not defusing, and it's very useful in competitive play. Now moving on to Smoke's loadout, we have a submachine gun, shotgun as his 2 primaries, with the FMG9 as a submachine gun and the M59OA1 as his shotgun. Now most people will typically run the shotgun because they don't really need the submachine gun, because his secondaries choices is a P226 MK25, which is a handgun, and the SMG11. Now the SMG11 is a headshot machine, and it's probably one of the most useful secondaries in the entire game. So I would typically run him with the primary as a shotgun and run the secondary with the machine pistol SMG11. Now moving on to his gadgets, you have the choice between impact grenades and barbed wire. Now because I say you should play Smoke as an anchor, most people 9 times out of 10, especially as you get in higher ranks, will run Smoke with a barbed wire instead of impacts, because you're usually going to run him with a shotgun. So instead of having to use impacts and a shotgun, just use your shotgun to open up holes, open up angles, rotation holes, anything like that on site, or if you're roaming with them for some reason, and you'll be able to get around very easily. His shotgun does a lot of spread damage on walls, so you can usually get through with 1 or 2 shots to the wall. Now the loadout that I normally use for the shotgun, I'll usually use a holographic and a laser sight. I usually use a laser sight because if someone's close enough to see my laser sight, say around a corner or something like that, I probably know they're there and they probably know I'm there. So if I have my shotgun out, I'm going to win that battle probably 8 or 9 times out of 10. Now for the SMG11, I think that the sights will definitely come down to your personal preferences for the sights. I know that not all the sights are aligned correctly. I usually either run the reflex or I run the holographic, depending on the map or depending on just what I want to play with that day. For the barrel, there is the suppressor, flash hider, compensator, and extended barrel. Now, I would say either use the flash hider or the compensator, depending on if you think you're going to burst more or if you're going to go fully automatic with the SMG11. These are 2 where decide whether you pick the compensator or the flash hider. I typically use the compensator on the off chance that I need to burst fire, or if I need to just one-tap someone, I'll just do that, but I usually take a little bit less of a recoil hit if I use the compensator. Now for the grip, you definitely want to use a vertical grip. There's no reason not to. They're free now. You don't have to buy any of the attachments. So use a vertical grip, and the laser is going to be up to you. Again, lasers I feel like are a personal preference. A lot of people don't run lasers. I typically do, but a lot of people don't. So that is going to be up to you. Now moving on to Smoke's unique gadget. What makes Smoke Smoke? And actually why his name is Smoke. So Smoke has 3 of these remote gas grenades that you can detonate by yourself. You cannot throw them at someone and have them detonate automatically. You have to detonate them yourself, which means that you need to stay alive. They're not traps, although they might fall under a trap category. Now, as I said before, smoke is so important for stopping defuses. You can throw a smoke around a corner without truly exposing your entire self and get a kill on someone who is planting the bomb or planting the diffuser, and it's very important to your team that you get those kills, and at the very least, you make them stop defusing and cancel it. These are all very important in bomb, where a couple seconds can really mean the difference between how your team plays or how your team rotates and the kind of callouts that you do. Now, smoke is going to take a lot of teamwork because you need to call out where the diffuser is going down. So it's important that you play with a team that talks, or at least talks a little bit, or pings at the most. Now, lastly, there are no real counters to smoke besides getting shot. That could be from anyone, but there's no real counters to smoke. The only counters that might be it, if you pre-place a grenade, Twitch could zap it, or someone could shoot it out of the air. But most of the time, people aren't paying attention enough to shoot something like that out of the air, or quick enough to do so. It's going to be very important that you use these as throwables and do not pre-place them, because someone could shoot them if they see it, and then you would have no idea because it doesn't tell you if it's shot. Now I wanted to bring you guys some tips and tricks for how to play smoke, and the first tip that I want to use is probably one that you won't use too often, but it can be used, is when you throw your smokes down, you are the only person who can run through your smokes or stand or sit in your smokes. So this is going to allow you to kind of create your own cover or be able to rotate in and out of rooms. And this is very important because sometimes you might need to push up even if someone's defusing and you throw a smoke. They might keep defusing because they might just be at the very end of it before they die and you get the smoke kill. So it's going to be very important that you use smoke, and I'll even show you guys a clip here that how to use it, and you can push up and get a lot of kills with it. Now, I don't usually use him as someone to give myself cover with, but every so often in certain situations I believe that it can work, and it's a lot of fun to get those kinds of kills because they might not always see where you rotated to because it's very hard to see through that smoke. Now, the second tip I have for you guys today is going to be how you can counter Finca. Now, Finca is an operator that I don't think will be used too much in competitive play, but if she is, Smoke is usually picked as part of the current meta, so he's going to be a perfect counter to her pushes and her ability to be able to pick people up and give people an extra 20 HP boost. When you use Smoke, and say if someone who's boosted by a Finca stands in the smoke, the time that it takes to kill them is almost halved, and they take a ton more damage than they would have originally. Now, this is very important, especially if you realize that they're trying to make a push. They're using their Finca to give people extra health to push on the site. You throw your smoke down, they're going to take a lot of damage. And I mean, anyone who has the Finca ability on will take a lot of damage. So it's not just Finca herself. This is very important to stopping pushes, especially with the new operators that have come out. Now, the last tip that I have for you guys today is kind of something that you can use across the board, not just on Miras. But if you have a soft wall or something like that, you want to place a Mira and try to shoot out above the Mira. This will allow you to sit behind the Mira, not get headshot, and they probably won't be able to see you as long as there's no holes below the Mira. You want to sit behind a Mira and you can throw smokes from behind it. This is very, very useful for holding down sites, say on lockers and servers down in bank, and it's honestly, it makes life a lot easier using a Mira and being able to see straight across to another site and not really being able to be shot, especially with smoke. Being able to stop plants is very useful, so work with the Mira if you guys have one on your team. Miras use a ton on most sites in the current meta, so it's going to be awesome to see how you work with her. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap my video up for today. Let me know if I missed any tips or tricks that you guys do with smoke. Also, let me know down in the comments below what you guys want to see the next operator to be. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be definitely popping out a lot more how to play series. And I'm going to be doing some Pro League news because that got a lot of attention. So thank you guys so much. That's going to be it, though. This is going to be Josh Snipes signing off.
Nest ready to knock up. Reload.
Don't play aggressive. Last one's up here.
Setting to this. My toxic babes.
All set to channel. Op 4 eliminated. Mission
Nice.
successful.